All right, MMA Maniacs, it's time once again for your weekly MMA podcast called Split Decision, brought to you from the Ruloff Family Inc. studios. Bueller and Dodge at the mics, ready to give you some news and break down some fight cards, as well as look at the fight card happening tomorrow night in Poland?
Poland.
Right? Yeah, in Poland. So, of course, tell your friends to get us on the Spreaker,
It's
Stitcher,
happening right now.
SoundCloud. Right now?
Right now.
To the future?
Right now?
Let's go to the future machine. We can see what's happening right now then. Rewind the tape. Fast forward.
When will then be now? Soon.
Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud. Of course, subscribe on iTunes. You won't ever miss an episode.
Why didn't anybody tell me my ass was so big?
How many assholes are on this ship?
Surrounded by assholes.
What's your name? Major asshole.
SplitDecisionMMA.com is our official website. SD_MMA on Twitter and Instagram. And, of course, Split Decision MMA Podcast on Facebook. Check out Americana.rocks. It's ROCKS if you want to find some MMA apparel and use SDMMA as a discount code. Who knows how much fatty will give you. It could be 5, 10, 15%. It's all a surprise. Like a grab bag.
Yeah, sometimes you'll throw a shirt in for free.
What?
Yeah.
It happens.
I don't know if they meant to or someone was just loaded and threw it in the box.
I was going to say, is this a drunk thing?
Yeah.
How many did he order?
He ordered 4 mediums and he got
Three.
1 triple X.
He ordered three. Just put them in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so first off, we're going to go ahead and jump into some news. DeFriends is out.
Alexis DeFriends is out of her debut for Bellator 137 because she's pregnant.
Killed the rabbit.
Not able to pass medicals.
Chicks. This is the biggest problem with them in anything.
Getting pregnant?
Hey, she does it.
Yeah. You want to know why women earn less than men in their professions?
Oh, here we go.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, I know. The views expressed by Joy Bueller aren't exactly the views expressed by Split Decision MMA.
Because they got to go out on maternity leave. How are you going to earn more than a man when you're not at work? Can't happen.
They double up when they come back.
Because they bring the kid with them and put him to work?
Exactly. Come on, Pele. In every country but America, because we won't let young kids work.
Frank Mir's going to be fighting Todd Duffee. July 15th, UFC Fight Night.
In San Diego.
In San Diego.
Cool.
San Diego.
Very cool. I mean, I don't... Frank Mir comes out and he, like, on a 4-fight skid, gets a headlining card on a 4-fight skid, knocks out his opponent in the first round, and then now all of a sudden he's headlining against Duffee. I don't even know what to say about it, really.
It's a fight night card. It's not like it's a pay-per-view.
He definitely earned the spot to be there again.
And I think Todd Duffy's a good opponent for him.
Sure. Now, I'm just wondering, is Frank Mir going to be like, cool, I got my knockout, I got my stride, then he's going to get beat up again?
He says no.
Of course he says no.
He's turned the corner. He's ready to come back.
I want to see their fighter at one point in time just come out and be like, yeah, I don't know, I might lose this one.
It happens. They say, win or lose, I'm going to be retiring fight.
No, but I mean, like
Mark Minos is like
if
whatever my next fight is, whatever happens.
Like if someone was to come out and say they had to fight like before Anthony Pettis lost his belt, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I might lose.
Yeah. I mean, it's Anthony Pettis. He's pretty good.
I mean, you know what I mean?
I'm just happy to be here. I hope if you're betting, I'm going to go, let's say 2 rounds. And I think I'm probably going to be out after that. Like, I want to see that kind of, like, lack of confidence.
Yeah, but you can't say exactly which round you're going to go out at. That's never...
Then you weak at the camera.
The UFC has decided to pair with the International Mixed Martial Arts Federation, which is an amateur MMA league. So it's basically what was trying to oversee the amateur level. They're saying that the UFC is going to be financially and administratively backing this league to help build amateurs, everybody that's not in the pro level, basically.
So is this like a bullpen for them type thing?
Yeah, it's a little bit before. Cause, I mean,
is this like Dominican Republic baseball? Or
there you go. Maybe like short season.
All right.
Single A.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. I mean, it is the UFC. They should be like involved in this as much as they can to try to groom young fighters and at least point them in the right direction so they don't end up in like some shit organization.
So their world championships will be happening at International Fight Week, which of course the UFC puts on in Vegas every year.
There you go. We still need to go to that. I don't think we'll ever get invited though.
I don't think we're going to get invited, but we can go.
Have our picture up by the gate. No.
I think if we actually contacted some people, I think we could get an invite. We don't really talk to anybody. I don't know if you know this.
No, we don't. You're correct. Just start sending some emails.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened last time you did that?
Nothing. I got never mind.
The UFC announced that Nate Diaz will be taking on Matt Brown at UFC 189 this week. Nate Diaz immediately said, wait, I didn't agree to that fight. I want to fight. I would rather fight Anthony Pettis.
No, he actually said, nah. I'm fighting Pettis.
I'm fighting Pettis. I'm just saying, it's just they came at me with this fight, and I signed it, and they said it was Pettis, right? I said, yeah, so I'm fighting Pettis, and then it says Matt Brown. What?
He says he has no problem fighting Matt Brown. However, that's not the fight that I agreed to, nor we even negotiated. And then they made the announcement without him.
But Matt Brown's flashing a contract even. Matt Brown actually showed a contract.
Does it have Nate Diaz's name in crayon?
Yeah, does it have his actual signature on it? Or does it just has a blank for Nate?
I'll try to find it right now.
And he says he signed it. I mean, who would you rather see? Did you see Pettis against Nate, or would you rather see Brown against Nate?
Pettis.
Yeah. Well,
this would be Nate. This would be Nate going back to 170 too.
Right.
I don't know
if he goes to fight Matt Brown, whereas Pettis is 155.
Because we all gave him so much shit against Dos Anjos because we really didn't think Dos Anjos was the man. Yeah. And then obviously
he's the man.
He's the man. So.
I think Pettis versus Nate Diaz is a.
I like that fight.
More entertaining. But see, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with Matt Brown except for
it's Matt motherfucking Brown.
Matt Brown could knock out Nate Diaz. It's possible, but I think if Nate Diaz gets in too much trouble, then he's going to fight off his back like he likes to do. Matt Brown doesn't want to go to the ground with Nate Diaz, and that's where the fight becomes boring. When one guy wants to fight on the ground and Matt Brown just wants to stand and bang,
He's got underrated grappling though. I like Matt Brown on the ground. He's got submission wins.
I think it'd be silly for him to do that against Nate though.
I think Nate's jiu-jitsu is definitely better.
I think it's very possible that fight becomes a kind of a boring stalemate where Nate's like, nope, I don't want to get hit anymore by him, so I'm going to go down here. And Matt Brown's like, why? I'm winning up here. I'm not going to go down there with you. Whereas Pettis is going to fight anywhere. And I think the stand-up war between those two, because of Nate's pattern, just like his brothers, would frustrate Pettis a lot and make Pettis try to do different things outside the box, like we'd like to see him do.
See, I think that the Matt against Nate fight, it's the same thing. They both have that kind of pitter. I mean, Matt constantly comes forward and is trying to bully guys constantly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Whereas Nate's got when we talk about the pitter-patter style. So I don't know. I think either fight's really good. I would rather keep Nate at 155, though. That's my thing.
This is very true.
That's why I like him against Pettis, because I'd rather keep him at 155 instead of 170.
If I had to pick one of these two fights, then I would go with Pettis. That's a good reason why, but I also think stylistically and entertainment-wise, like watching, that would be more fun. Either one, I'd be happy to watch, though.
We did get the results from UFC 160 Fight Night 62. They said originally that all of the drug tests came back clean. However, it has been revealed that George de Oliveira has tested positive for steroids.
Way to go, dude.
So, yeah.
He thought he could beat the system. Nobody's going to beat the system.
Everybody is like, well, they're not going to catch me.
I might make it. You never know.
I'm taking this new designer steroid.
I mean, I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but they brought in the guy from the whole Balco
thing,
right?
That's the story I have right here. Is that, the UFC has decided to hire Balco investigator Jeff Novitsky as their vice president to help stop PED use. This is a huge step by the UFC.
Just the guy from the A-Rod case?
This is the guy that
no.
He investigated Marion Jones, Tim Montgomery, Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, Balco.
But not A-Rod?
Bill Romanowski, Jose Canseco.
It's all about drugs,
Lance Armstrong.
Jeez.
I mean, he's busted and investigated everybody.
Yeah.
Did he find Lance Armstrong's missing nut?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
They're saying he's the Elliot Ness of PED use.
Elliot Ness, huh? Not Sherlock Holmes?
No.
Not Sherlock Holmes.
Elliot Ness was a real person.
Sherlock Holmes is better as a fictional
But Elliot Ness isn't a fictional character.
He really existed.
Perry Mason.
Ozzy loves him.
We have some interesting news with World Series of Fighting. World Series of Fighting, as we know, has Melvin Guillard as one of their fighters.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be fighting this Friday. He got pulled from his card recently. They said basically because he had incomplete medicals and they were unable to get a hold of him.
Awesome.
Melvin Guillard, on the other hand, was on Submission Radio.
Was he partying with John Jones somewhere, doing a bunch of coke?
Probably about 2 days before they pulled him from the card, and said he would rather fight in the UFC anywhere in the top 10 than even be World Series of Fighting champion.
So this makes it sound like he was setting up the stage to not show up.
He says his weight's been on fine. He's been trying to contact World Series of Fighting for the past month. Whenever he wanted to talk to them, they would never answer the phone. But then when they wanted him to do media, they were constantly just bugging him.
I don't know.
He says there's a lot of issues with promoter Ali Al-Aziba.
Nobody wants you back in the UFC,
Ali's,
dude.
yeah,
so, I mean, you might as well take the money where you can get it. I think
He says he'd rather pit stop in Bellator than fight in World Series of Fighting.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like we were saying earlier, I mean, talk to Rampage. Rampage wasn't happy with what's going on in Bellator.
I think it's just once he got word that you could do coke in the UFC out of competition, not get in trouble.
He'd be okay.
Yeah, he'd be okay.
Speaking about the whole Rampage thing, we did have Bellator was granted an injunction to keep Rampage Jackson out of UFC
This whole
186.
situation is so crazy to me.
They're saying, this is Rampage saying, they went to a small town judge somewhere in New Jersey to get this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The UFC says
Camden. Went to Camden.
and the fact that they're looking at an emergency injunction, or excuse me, a emergency appeal to possibly still allow him to fight at the UFC 186. This is Rampage himself and the UFC responding. They're saying they're going to protect their rights and maximize damage or minimize damages regarding this matter. UFC 186 will still go on as planned. They are evaluating options. Now, they said that from their understanding on multiple occasions that he was free to negotiate his contract with the UFC and that they alleged rights for months before taking action.
So, what I get from this, from what I read, it seems like the injunction, it doesn't really mean anything, but they have to file it. The judge has to grant it simply because Bellator can present that they are going to get the financial implications of it that cannot be regenerated by losing Rampage on the UFC 186 card. That's the sole reason, from what I got from reading it, that was the main reason or the sole reason for being able to grant the injunction. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that Bellator is right or that Rampage is right. It just means that they found this one thing, well, we're going to lose a lot of money if this happens.
If he's on another card.
And we can't get that money back. If he goes and fights at UFC 186, then we have, what do they call it, irreparable damages.
Right.
And so...
Irreparable
damage, thank you. And so they have to grant it. There's no way they couldn't grant this injunction. And of course, they went to some Barney Fife judge in the middle of Camden County. So what? They got what they wanted.
Right.
But realistically, it does kind of make sense.
So we'll see what actually ends up happening before UFC 186. To help save UFC 186, Benson Henderson took to Twitter and said that he is looks like you guys need some help. I can make 170 by the time this fight is going to happen. If anybody wants to fight, open call on Twitter.
That guy's getting ballsy.
Benson Henderson wants to fight anybody, and he had some responses, right? You found some responses.
Oh yeah, there was Sarah Kaufman said that she would fight him. There's quite a few. There's another girl.
Oh. Why are the girls calling out Benson, man?
They need to fight and they need paid, man. Yeah. They're not pregnant.
I can't find the one girl, but she's like, I'm broke. Nobody else will fight me. I'll do 170.
Is that Fallon Fox?
No, he would have said, I'm ready to fight you at 170.
I'd watch Benson Henderson fight Fallon Fox. Did you see the chick in Brazil that knocked out or TKO'd her opponent?
Yeah.
A guy who wasn't even training for a fight and basically just didn't want to hit her. I like how the internet blew up over that.
Oh, he was like, how much do I make?
All right,
yeah, I'm in.
Hit me.
Hey,
I'm in.
All right.
And a 12-pack? Okay, I'm in.
It's not Donald Cerrone.
12-pack during or after the fight? UFC 190, August 1st. This is the fight that is, or excuse me, the card that is headlined by Ronda Rousey and Betch Carrera. We'll also be gaining, this is in Brazil, we'll be gaining Antonio Big Nog Nogueira against Stefan Struve. Don't care? No fucks given? Nobody in the room?
I mean, there's a good possibility we could watch Struve have a heart something.
There's a good possibility we could have Big Nog have a heart something.
Oh, yeah. So this should be called the heart to heart.
The heart to heart. This is the bout for Camp Taylor.
We can't make a joke and then bring up a good group. It's not right. Camp Taylor does a lot of good stuff.
They do a lot of good stuff, and they're probably
do.
they should benefit from this match.
Yeah, they should tell these two not to fight. That's what Camp Taylor should do.
They just got to have their cut man in the corner with a defibrillator. We're all good.
I'm more worried about Stefan Struve going down to Brazil to have this fight.
And he'll stick out like a sore thumb. How tall is he?
Yeah.
They're just going to try to feed him a banana.
6'11". Ronda Rousey's biography is not going to be sold at Walmart.
This is such bullshit.
That should be a new thing, a biography.
Biography.
Yeah.
Story of my dick.
Yeah.
This is because it has been deemed too violent.
No, because she's been deemed too violent. And this is insane to me because, first off, they sold every other fighter's book there.
Yep.
That did they not sell Forrest Griffin? No, they sold that one there. They sold Randy Couture's book. Shit, I think
Brock Lesnar's.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar's.
Dude, do they have a Mayweather book? I'm going to look it up.
I'm sure they do, and that's what's crazy to me is because she's a lady and she's too violent.
They sell guns at Walmart.
She's a judo. Like she says, I'm a judo
Olympic
champion. I'm an Olympic champion, and I'm an undefeated world champion. But you don't want me to be a positive role model for other people by my book. But you sell fucking guns and horror movies and shitty pop music
and
Are
bear
you kidding
traps.
me? And bear traps. You sell everything it takes to dissolve a body in a swamp.
Right.
People actually make meth labs in your fucking bathroom.
That is true. That is not alleged. That is fact.
That's fact, but you won't sell a book? Are you shitting me? You know what else they wouldn't sell? We talked about this today on the show. They also banned all of Marilyn Manson's music. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming that stems back to the Columbine thing. Mm-hmm. There's one other thing I can't remember, but they also banned the Plan B pill for like 8 years. Like, if there's anybody that needs a Plan B pill, it's Walmart customers. Give me a break. I stole that joke, by the way. Disclaimer.
Yeah, but they not only that, they sell a Floyd Mayweather poster, who is a woman beater, convicted, right?
Right. Yeah.
Chris Brown's music still bought there.
Chris Brown's still selling CDs there like crazy. Ronda Rousey, too violent.
Too violent. However, they did say, well, you can buy it online and you can ship it to our store.
And we'll bring it out in a black bag like when you buy porn at the yeah. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever heard.
O.J. Simpson has a book at Walmart.
Really?
Really?
Does Ray Rice have a jersey there still? Curious.
Only in the Baltimore area.
This is only the Baltimore Walmart.
So then, did you get a chance to watch the fight night from last week? Which, by the way, real quick before we get into that, I have to apologize that I read the results for the wrong World Series of Fighting.
I thought we were just going to go with that and let people think that they were in a time warp.
And I don't care to look them up to read the right ones at the moment. So, UFC Fight Night that did happen. Mendez versus Lamas is UFC Fight Night 63 in the morning.
Seriously. You know, I was so messed up by this that I looked for it Sunday morning. And I'm looking for it Sunday morning, and I'm like, why the fuck does it start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon? I thought it was 10 o'clock. Oh, shit, it's Sunday.
It's the replay.
It's the replay. Hey, at least you get to watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
What'd you think of the fights?
Oh, Chad impressed the hell out of me.
Chad Money Mendez.
I'm not going to lie. Chad impressed the hell out of me. I was bummed out with...
I think he needs a title shot.
I agree.
And he said he's trying to renegotiate his contract at the moment to include a title shot.
I was disappointed with Masvidal, and Clay Guida actually surprised me, too.
Clay Guida, man, he stuck to him like glue.
He lost the eye, right? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, the whole eye just fell out.
The whole eye just gone.
It was weird, man.
Dustin Poirier looked really dominant. I mean, taking out Carlos Diego Ferreira in 3 minutes 45 seconds of the first round. Juliana Pena, in my opinion, the girl that was with her didn't look like she belonged at the same level. And Juliana Pena still...
You can't click on her name.
Still needs to work on her ground and pound because just the Donkey Kong hammer fists the whole time were not doing it for me. And then when she threw the elbows in, that's when they were able to stop the fight. Yeah, but until then, her just doing the Donkey Kong thing, like she was playing conga, didn't quite work out as well as she thought it was going to. And then, what did you think of the Alaquinta and George Masvidal fight?
I was just bummed out with George Masvidal.
Split decision.
Bummed out that he lost.
Would you have given the fight to Masvidal?
No, I think he needed to do more to win.
Okay. Do you think Alaquinta says he won the first round for sure, but I won the next two? That he just tried to coast.
I mean, I guess I can kind of understand how Iaquinta's saying that, but like I said, Masvidal, if he wanted to win that, then he obviously needed to do more.
Dennis, how do you feel? I thought Masvidal did just enough. But I really did.
I think this is another one of those cases where someone put it on a little heavier in the third. It's fresher in the judge's mind.
Alaquinta, of course, had his famous post-fight speech. Did you get a chance to hear any of that?
No.
Did they bleep it all out? He said the crowd booed. They were not happy with the result. Obviously, being a split decision, it goes either way. And he immediately looks up and says, "Are you booing me? Fuck me. Fuck you. I worked my fucking ass off. Am I getting booed? Is this really happening?"
Yes, it is.
And apparently he looked up at the big screen and saw two people flipping him off, and so that's who he was yelling at, "Fuck you."
And he calls him a little hillbilly.
Yeah.
You freaking looser? Did he call him a looser?
You're a looser.
Did he call him a looser, or is that a typo?
It's probably a typo.
I could hear him saying it. I could hear him saying it. The freaking loser?
But at the same time, he's known for having a pretty bad temper, I guess, and they're saying that, I mean, at the same time, you didn't fight the fight that everyone wanted you to fight, so they're going to boo you. You kind of have to get over it.
You're always going to get booed.
His corner is even telling him, "Don't listen to the crowd. It's okay. Just relax. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, you're going to get booed in this sport, period. It doesn't matter. You got to learn how to deal with it. Develop a thicker skin.
Instead of flipping out on people and telling them to fuck off.
Like, what's Rousey say? I've been booed in 17 countries.
Yeah. I liked, though, that who was it? The John Anik was in there. Was like, oh, you just said fuck on TV. Like just kind
Oh,
of
that
like,
would be a great FCC fine.
just
kind of
looked at like, oh,
I hope he made enough to pay that.
I got to pull away the microphone.
Did it go out?
It looked like it was bleeped.
Yeah, they got 40.
But apparently
it's a 50-second delay.
Apparently,
now,
the
right?
Canadian version was live.
Oh, the Canadian version doesn't have the FCC, so the FCC won't let.
They got the
me-
CCC.
The CCC.
And then, of course, we had. Did you get to hear Clay Guida's after speech ramble?
No.
Okay, so this is what he said.
I couldn't hear him. He lost the eye.
He said, "Happy Easter to everyone who came here in person on such a sacred holiday weekend. I know there's the Final Four going on. Secondly, with all due respect to Mr. Obama, I don't know if you're out golfing. Hopefully you're attending our important United Affairs. Don't forget about the world's fastest growing sport, the UFC. It all starts with wrestling."
All right.
Any takeaways from that?
He's drunk.
He's trying to get a suit job.
He's going to have a visit from the CIA by mentioning Obama.
And apparently what he was trying to say is that he was saying that Fairfax, Virginia is not far away, and he was hoping that Obama, unless he was taking care of foreign affairs, would have come down to watch MMA.
No.
No, there's.
That's what he said he was trying to say.
Didn't we already have like a senator show up at one of these things and take a whole lot of crap after that?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any there's nothing wrong with like if a government official wants to come watch the UFC, but it's such the environment that it is like Quinta said, you beer drinking hillbilly losers.
Yeah. I mean, it still is. It's a modern day gladiator.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll ever see a president watch UFC live?
If we ever do see a president watch the UFC live, like Dennis just said, I want to see him up in a booth doing the thumbs up or thumbs down at the end of the fight. That's got to happen.
It's gonna be Terry Tate.
Idiocracy.
Yeah. What's his name in that movie?
Camacho or
Camacho.
something like that.
It's got like a
President
huge name.
Nacho Camacho or something like that.
UFC brought to you by Brondo.
President Nacho, Eldon, Camilio, Camacho.
Yeah, something like that. I can't even spell right now.
Not sure. President, not sure.
No, not even gonna try.
Can't spell idiocracy.
We have three. We have three events going on this weekend. We have World Series of Fighting going down today on NBC Sports. David Branch going up
Phoenix
against
Jones.
Jesse McElliott, Nick Newell going up against Joe Conn. And yes, we do have Phoenix, the superhero Jones, going up against Emmanuel Wallo.
I want to see him fight Kick-Ass.
So you can check that out, as well as Bellator 136. Will Brooks defending his belt against Dave Jansen. Rafael Cavallo against Joe Schilling. Who else do we have on this card? Joey Beltran.
Executioner.
There you go. Going down on that card. That is also tonight. And then we have UFC on Fight Night in Poland on Fight Pass.
Is this where Krokop is an ambassador? Where is he an ambassador at? Croatia? Yeah, never mind.
That's why he's Krokop.
Shut up.
His real name is Mirko Flipovic.
Filipovic, I know that.
Flipovich.
Krokop is just a nickname, sir.
He's a
Croatian cop. Yes. On the anti-terrorist squad.
Yeah.
And he's a prime minister, or he was like a...
No, he was in the... Yeah,
he was in the government.
I don't think he's a prime minister. He's just a minister.
Member of Parliament.
Minister.
Thank you.
There it
He
is.
got it. Member of Parliament.
Ding, 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 ding.
Funkadelic.
Yeah.
He's the big brain on Josh.
He is Liam Neeson in Taken.
So I'm not even going to try to pronounce 9 out of 10 of these Polish names that are on the bottom because I don't recognize any of them.
No.
I recognize some of the names on the Fight Pass main card. Obviously, your main event is Man Bear Pig, Gabriel Gonzaga, going up against Mirko Krokop Flipovic for the rematch. Who do you got in that fight?
Dude, it's so hard for me to say because, I mean, this is the thing. When UFC started bringing all these Pride fighters over back in the day,
Yep.
I was working at Dot Foods, and there's some people there that were like getting into MMA and stuff, and they really enjoyed it. And because I knew so much about it, they were asking me questions, especially about the Pride guys. They didn't know shit about the Pride guys. And I was excited about Krokop coming over. And I think this one dude bet a lot of money on Krokop based on my advice because I got a lot of shit.
Well, his first fight, technically, he did win. They put him against Eddie Sanchez, who was just some journeyman that you felt bad for.
Okay, well, but it was definitely the Gonzaga fight.
Yeah, because that was going to be for the title shot against Randy.
And then Krokop got Krokopped by Gonzaga.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Nobody ever saw that
Nobody
coming.
saw it, especially
Ever.
Krokop.
Even Gonzaga didn't think it was going to come.
Yeah. No, Krokop definitely didn't see it coming. And then so it's like, it's tough because, I mean, when was the last time that Krokop fought at this level? It's been a while. You know, did he have a couple fights outside of like K1 or something like that? But Gonzaga's
been working his way back as well.
yeah, but he's been in and out of the UFC, but he's been in the UFC. At least he's had a couple fights recently within the last year, right?
Yeah, he just recently won. Let's see, Gonzaga just recently won up against, the Sean Jordan, Dave Herman. That was his 2 fights coming back.
And then he's lost his last 2 up against Stipe Miocic and Matt Mitrione.
Okay. The Miocic fight was a pretty good fight, and that was a decision.
And then you had Krokop's up, and Krokop's been fighting in Glory and K1. It's just different competition.
Yeah, his last MMA, he was against Aishi. Both of those in IGF.
Okay, so there you go. So and he's coming off of 2 wins, so maybe the confidence will help him out there. But still, it's a different competition when it's UFC and not UFC.
Do you see Man Bear Pig hitting the Crow Cop with the Crow Cop again?
No, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Crow Cop's probably going to be pissed about that. I think Crow Cop's going to be.
He still says he has the most dangerous left leg in the business.
Crow Cop does?
Yes.
I'd agree with that.
Because it was right leg hospital, left leg cemetery.
Right. Well, let's see that happen then. That's what we wanted to happen.
Gonzaga's going to take him down and submit him.
Yeah, that's more likely. That's more likely. But like when he came over and everybody was so pumped about the right leg hospital, left leg cemetery, and then he got Crow Copped, and then he just kind of fell off after that.
Yeah.
And now
choked out Pat Barry.
Yeah. Nobody saw that coming either. Except for I called that. I called that on our podcast.
You did.
I hella called it. His second submission ever of his career. I hella called that. How's a kickboxer going to knock out another kickboxer? You're going to choke him.
Choke him. Like I said, I'm taking Gonzaga in this fight. Submission.
I think I'm gonna have to. I have to roll with you on this one. I mean, Mirko could definitely surprise us. I'm not going to say that he's out of this fight completely, but he's definitely getting up there. And I just feel like Gonzaga, even though he's lost his last 2 fights, has been more active.
Yeah. Jimmy Manuwa going up against Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Manuwa.
I figured you would. Yeah. Manuwa's way to go.
Pavel Pawlik up against Sheldon Westcott. I got to take Westcott.
I'm not taking anybody named Sheldon.
Really? Sheldon was on the Ultimate Fighter Nations. That's how I know him, so I'll be taking him.
Was he the Australian team?
I think he placed second. Yeah, he lost to the.
They were weak, bro. It's like, wasn't that one of the weakest shows?
Australia versus Canada?
Yeah.
It was terrible.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
And then Joanne and Calderwood going up against Mariana Moros.
I know you're taking Joanne.
I'm taking Joanne.
I can't believe she's at the beginning. She's not closer to the end.
You mean...
I thought she'd be like a co-main event or something.
Like above Manua and Blachowicz.
I would have thought.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you.
Because she was toted. I mean, until the end, we thought she was going to be the winner.
So who are you taking in that fight?
And Calderwood?
Yep.
Yeah, Calderwood.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
And then would you like to go on any of the prelims there?
No, I mean, like you said, you got a bunch of guys that we don't really know from Poland. You got Seth Baczynski, who we do know.
Yep. Anthony Hamilton.
Yeah, there's a few guys that we know from mainstream fights, but for the most part, you got a lot of breakout guys from Poland here that we're not going to know a lot about.
Yeah, a lot of Europeans.
Which is cool. It's good for the UFC.
That they do that. They go over to the...
When they go over to other places, they take local fighters. It gives a lot of guys chances to shine and maybe make it in the UFC that way, instead of having to like get up and grind through all these little organizations to hope to get noticed. UFC shows up in Uzbekistan. And it's like, where's your Uzbekistan gyms? We need Uzbekistan fighters. And then, Clip and Ding Ding show up, and there you go. Right?
All right. I have your president name for you, by the way.
President Dwayne Elizondo Mountain Dew Herbert Camacho. Booyah. There you go. All right, so I guess that wraps it up. Make sure you check out the UFC going down. It's on Fox Sports 1.
No, Fight Pass.
Damn it. Tomorrow night, get a login from somebody.
I really believe it's happening right now.
I believe you're right. I'm not going to disagree.
And this is true because we don't know when people are listening to this.
Yeah. Got a good point there.
It could be happening right now.
Anyway, the views and opinions expressed by me on Split Decision do not are not liable of the show or whatever the hell the disclaimer is. But thanks for listening. Really, tell your friends. Tune in every week. We have a new show for you. You can download us on Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud. Subscribe on iTunes. Get us on our website, which is splitdecisionmma.com. If you want to find us on Twitter and Instagram, it's SD_MMA. And on Facebook, it is Split Decision MMA Podcast. Check out Americana.rocks. It's ROCKS for your MMA apparel. And if you put in SDMMA, you can get some kind of discount. So from the Ruloff Family Inc. Studios, it is Bueller and Dodge. One more time saying have a good night, and we will see you at the fights.